us closing on an idea. We're closing in on an idea. And this idea is about femininity in Sense and Sensibility, and how it captures something that is somewhat, if not directly, biblical. We're moving further and further away from biblical values, like as a society generally, right? And if you look at Sense and Sensibility, right, you could say that the ladies in this book are very, very ladylike, right? For instance, none of these women would ever go out at night looking for a man. That's what a man would do. A man would go out at night looking for a woman, right? And that's actually a crazy thing to do. But we live in a society today where women at night, in fact, they're very excited too. They, just like Vikings, they'll all take shots before they head out into the night to go and conquer, right? That's what women do nowadays. Marianne, even as bold as Marianne is, she would never, right? As bold as she is, she would never go chasing a man in the middle of the night. She chases Willoughby during the day, right? During the day is when they run around frolicking. She couldn't do that during the night. Now, it's because, yeah, like I said, this book is more in line with biblical values. If we look at women in the Bible, are there a lot of women in the Bible? Yeah. There are a lot of female characters in the Bible. Who are the first people to see Jesus when he's resurrected? Mary. A woman, right? It was women who saw Jesus first, and God ordained it to be that way, right? Who's the woman that saves the Jews from Esther? Yes, we know the story of Esther in the Bible, right? Eve is Adam's half, right? Eve is Adam's half. Women are prevalent in the Bible. Does anybody know about Deborah in the Bible? Anybody know about the story of Deborah? If you look at Judges, there are a lot of bad judges. Some judges, this female judge, Deborah, she actually captures an ideal in the Bible, all right? But we have to look at the way that she moves in the Bible. Barak said to her, if you will go with me, I will go. But if you will not go with me, I will not go. Barak, a man, is telling a woman, if you go with me to war, I'm going to go, because I know we're going to win. But if you don't come with me to war, I'm not going to go. He's saying this to a woman. Look how she responds. She said, I will surely go with you. Nevertheless, the road which you are going will not lead to your glory, for the Lord will sell Caesarea into the hand of a woman. She says to him, if you want a woman to go with you to war, then a woman's going to take the glory for this war. When she says a woman's going to take glory for this war, she's not talking about Joan of Arc style, okay? If you know about Joan of Arc was like on the front lines fighting in war. She's not saying a woman's going to have a sword in her hand, taking out the enemy and like Beowulf style win everything. No. She's still saying that a woman's going to take the glory for this war in a way that Marianne maybe could. Actually, no, Marianne would probably just cry and run away. Eleanor could definitely do what the woman in this story is going to do. It's actually feminine warfare, how women go to war. So what we're going to look at is how women go to war according to the Bible. And this has to do with Sense and Sensibility. Trust that is all going to connect, okay? But let's look. It says, this is verse 17. It says, but Sisera fled away on foot to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. For there was peace between Jabin, the king of Hazor, and the house of Heber the Kenite. Politics. So Sisera, who is the enemy of Israel, runs to this house that Jael's at because there's peace between Heber the Kenite, the king of Hazor, and the house of Heber. So there's a sort of peace, right? But they're still at war, but there's a sort of peace. This is politics. And Jael came out to meet Sisera and said to him, turn aside, my lord, turn aside to me. Do not be afraid. She's talking to her enemy. She told her enemy not to be afraid. So he turned aside to her tent, into the tent, and she covered him with a rug, and he said to her, please give me a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. So she opened a skin of milk and gave him a drink and covered him. And he said to her, stand at the opening of the tent, and if any man comes and asks you, is anyone there, say, no. Conspiracy, immediately. You see this, right? Now there's lies. right? So Jael's almost like a spy right now. She's talking to a man who trusts her, right? Because there's a sort of peace in their house. And he asks her to protect him. He says, hey, lie to anyone who comes to the door. And the reason why just so you guys know, the reason why he's able to go to sleep is because she agrees to this. When he says, hey, lie to anybody who comes, she's like, oh, bet, I got you, right? This is manipulation. But Jael, the wife of Heber, took a tent peg and took a hammer in her hand. It's about to get a little graphic, guys. This is the Bible, so you can't sue me, right? Then she went softly to him. Softly, guys. So she's moving. Right? She's moving very quietly. This is feminine warfare. They are not on the front lines, swinging a broadsword, taking out enemies. No, she is. This is how y'all ought to do it, ladies. Y'all need to sleep. You're not meant to be on the front lines. This is how women go to war right here. It says, then she went softly to him and drove the peg into his temple until it went down into the ground. Guys, unless she was like stronger than your average man, how do you guys think it was one hit? Y'all think that it went through one time? No, she did not one shot that guy. No, it was bink, bink, bink. I bet it was bad. I bet it was nasty. I bet she was really a warrior right there. Like she was covered in blood, like war. But this is still feminine, just so y'all understand. It's still very feminine. Because women can kill too. But look at the way she did it. Until it went down into the ground while he was lying fast asleep from weariness. So he died. And behold, as Barak was pursuing Sisera, Jael went out to meet him and said to him, come and I will show you the man whom you are seeking. So he went to her tent, and there lay Sisera dead with the tent peg in his temple. So Barak runs like, I need to find this guy so we can win the war. And a woman comes out and says, it's done, bro. I got him. Tricked him. He's in there. And when you come in, unlike the way men, you know when men kill, it's nasty. Or, okay, this was nasty, right? But when men kill, it's a little sloppy. Her kill was very clean, okay? The man's head is pegged in the house, right? It's almost a feminine way of assassinating someone. The man is stuck in place. Now let me read you the story that sung about Jael. It's beautiful. Look at this. It says, wait. Where it says she asked for water. Verse 24 of chapter 5, it says, most blessed woman be Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, of tent-dwelling women, most blessed. He asked for water, she gave him milk. She brought him curds in a noble's bowl. She sent her hand to the tent peg and her right hand to the workman's mallet. She struck Sisera, she crushed his head. She shattered and pierced his temple. That's a song they would sing about Jael, praising her like she's a warrior, but she's not on the front lines. She manipulated him. It says that he asked for water. What did she give him? Milk. So he asked for water. She gave him something sweeter than water. Milk. To lure him in. So that she could stab him in the head. This is how women go to war. Now, understanding the Bible's understanding of feminine warfare, we can see how there's feminine warfare in Sense and Sensibility. Women go to war in this. People ask for water and they give them milk. Specifically, I'm talking about Lucy and Eleanor. When Lucy and Eleanor are talking, does Lucy think that Eleanor might be the enemy? Does she? I mean, yeah, she does. Right? Does Eleanor make it her duty almost to make Lucy drop her guard? Like, does she tell Lucy, it does make me uncomfortable when you talk about Edward? No. Does she tell Lucy, I don't have any advice or I don't know anything about him or anything? No. She says, like, we could talk. She says, come to me. Let me give you guys some textual evidence. Let's open our books. Let's open our books to Sense and Sensibilities, chapter 24. Look at this, in a firm though cautious tone, Eleanor thus began, I should be undeserving of the confidence you have honored me with if I felt no desire for its continuance or no further curiosity on its subject. I will not apologize therefore for bringing it forward again. Thank you, cried Lucy warmly, for breaking the ice. Guys, these are enemies, right? Are Eleanor and Lucy best friends? No, they're enemies. And she says, thank you, cried Lucy warmly, for breaking the ice. You have set my heart at ease. Was Sisera's heart not set at ease enough that he could go to sleep? Right? She set Sisera's heart at ease. He could go to sleep. Right? Let's read further. For I was somehow or other afraid I had offended you by what I told you that Monday. So they're talking around it. She knows she offended her by what she told her on Monday. And they're talking around it. Then look at how Eleanor responds. I'm telling y'all, they're at war right now. She says, offended me? How could you suppose so? Believe me. And Eleanor spoke it with the truest sincerity. Nothing could be farther from my intention than to give you such an idea. Could you have a motive for the trust that was not honorable and flattering to me? Guys, even the author is leaning into the deception of it all. It says, Eleanor spoke it with the truest sincerity. Is Eleanor being truly sincere? No. This is feminine warfare. As in, they are doing Jedi mind tricks on each other. They're both trying to psychologically control the other or trying to see where the other one is at before they strike. They don't want to say anything that might give away their position, actually. Just so you guys know, guys discover this later in life. I mean, some guys are like this. It's a stereotype. Some guys are like this, but it's a common thing for girls to relive conversations. Like they'll have a conversation and then they'll rehash it. They'll run it back in their head, maybe like 20 times. Like, could I have said this when I said that? Usually, guys only do that with arguments. They'll think back to an argument and they'll be like, dang it, I could have got him right there. But girls, they'll think about that with a common interaction. Like simple interaction, they'll think, did she mean that? Or was she like trying to throw shade at my... Like, they will just over and hyper analyze a conversation because almost every conversation or any conversation can be warfare. Much like Jael was at war with Sisera when she was talking to him. He didn't know that they were at war, but she was saying the words that would make him fall asleep so she might assassinate him, right? And she did that for God, right? So that was good, right? Can we all agree that she deceived Sisera, right? He thought he could sleep in her tent, and then then she killed him, right? So it was deception for God's sake. It was essentially it's war for God's sake. So there's a way that women go to war, all right? So think about that. That's essentially going to be your closing question or your closing thought. There's a way that women go to war, and compare the way that women go to war in the Bible to the way that women go to war in Sense and Sensibility. Where is there psychological